How's it going? Good morning, everybody. My name is Frank Cullen from the New York Surf School in Rockaway Beach. You can follow us on Instagram at NY Surf School, or if you're interested and ever in New York City and would like to take a lesson with us, NewYorkSurfSchool.com. Okay, we're about 50 minutes from all parts of Brooklyn and probably about an hour and 10 minutes from Manhattan by subway. We're right next to a subway stop, and that's what makes Rockaway Beach pretty unique. All right, so today we're going to cover why does California have better waves than the East Coast? And really this question is more for the East Coast guys than for the Californians, because the Californians couldn't care less. They're surfing 3 to 4 foot waves every single day. And we actually have to be weathermen here to know when waves are coming. The East Coast does not have as good a surf as the West Coast.
I actually don't.
You do not know why. Okay, a lot of people don't. Okay, one variable, and I'm going to ask you to point the camera. Weather moves west to east. So all of our low pressure systems are back here. I'm pointing back Ohio, Cleveland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. That's where the lows are. You go out west, being that weather systems move west to east, when you're out and looking at the California coastline, all their lows are out there. They're already there. So what this does is Californians actually get the full power of the system because the system is coming at them. We basically get the back of the system. What happens is the East Coast will get a couple of days of crappy weather. That's the low going over us. The low goes out. And if you can imagine like a fan blowing and your hand is at the back of the fan, you actually can feel the suction. And that's what happens. The system goes out. It pulls the air, which kind of gives us offshore winds. But also we're at the back side of the system, not the front. That's one variable. That weather travels west to east. A big reason is both coasts have a continental shelf. Our continental shelf is way out. California's continental shelf and the West Coast in general's continental shelf is closer to the beach. So what happens is our waves actually get knocked down and get halved in size, probably about 80, 90 miles out, or however far out the continental shelf is. And it's a slow decline. So it stays so what will happen is if you took a weather system that was here on the East Coast that created 4 foot waves for us and just picked it up and moved it out to the West Coast, that would create 6 to 8 foot waves. So for example, on the biggest weather systems that exist, which are hurricanes, there's nothing bigger than a hurricane, period. It's the biggest, they can really take up, they're 2-3 times the size of Alaska sometimes. Excuse me, the size of Texas. And they're the only weather system that actually moves correctly for us on the East Coast. They're already out there and they come to us, where in general, we usually have the big day first and the smaller, cleaner days come later. That's the only system that kind of comes up. We'll get the small day first. As it gets a little closer, it'll get a little bigger. That's actually how California's low pressure systems work all the time. So they get the nice small day first as the system comes in, and the systems are already all out there. They don't even know where their waves are coming from half the time, because there could be 5 lows out there. And just before I move on to the next point, I just want to go back to the point where why our waves, a weather system here would create, say, a 3 foot wave, a 4 foot wave, where that would be out in California 6 to 8 foot. And if anybody's ever traveled out west, they'll notice that the waves are a lot more makeable out there. So even at 6 foot, the amount of energy in it is about the amount of energy that we'll have in a 3 foot wave. That's why back here, 4 to 5 foot, boards can snap in half. Boards don't snap in half at 4 to 5 foot in California most of the time, because the energy mass, even though the size has changed, the compactness of the energy has not changed. So when we get a 5 foot day here, it's going to have, for example, if you were able to actually take a piece of wave, put it under a microscope, the molecules the wave molecules will be very close together. That's why when we get hurricane surf, 1 or 2 paddles and you're in. Where generally on our low pressure systems, you really got to take a good bunch of paddles. But now that's on, say, 4 to 5 foot surf here. Out in California, that'd be 6 to 8 foot. So when they're getting their 4 to 5 foot surf, they're getting it from a system that creates 2 to 3 foot waves here. And the Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water in the world. You could almost fit the rest of the oceans in the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic's the second largest, but it's only 3,000 miles from here to Europe, where the distance is close to double that from California to the next landmass, which would be Asia. So that's basically your main points and reasons why our surf is a little bit, in general, not as good as West Coast surf. California surf, on average, they're probably getting between 2 to 4 foot surf every single day, where we here probably get maybe 8 to 10 good days a month. Tops, that's a good month. That would be 1 or 2 days a week. Most of the time we ride longboards here. If we're riding smaller boards, we're usually riding a lot of volume because there's not a lot of power in our waves. Really, the only surf we get that has a lot of power in it is low pressures that are very close, or hurricane surf. And that's it. So all our East Coast guys, you know how we suffer here, and so that's just a little info for you guys. And do you have any questions on anything that I said?
Does it affect anything with the waves in California and Rockaway?
Good question. In general, so California, and I'm glad you brought that up, the East Coast is beach break the whole way. From Florida, I'd say at least up to New York State. I don't know, I think when you get a little further up, the coast gets a little rockier. And actually, to get to any East Coast beach, anywhere from, again, at least New York State down to Florida, you actually have to cross over a bridge. There's a causeway. We're all sandbars. The East Coast, every beach is a sand. You go anywhere, I don't care, you go down to Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, you got to cross over a causeway. Florida, South Carolina, you're going to cross over a body of water. And I believe these were naturally created because of hurricanes, so that the land mass behind it would be protected, that the brunt of anything would happen here. But back to your question, sandbars, California has reef breaks, point breaks, and beach break. And by our standards, what they get on an average day on the beach break surf, we'd probably take a day off back here for that. But the sandbars, there's really nothing like critically different about that, because sandbars are shifting, and the jetties, if you take a look at the jetties are really what kind of jetties, piers. This is what creates sandbars, when the sand can actually not move anymore, and then it just collects. So say if you had like kind of a sweeping current going this direction, it would collect at that far sandbar, and it would just stand there. Excuse me, that far jetty, and stay there. Any other questions?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so guys, that's it. And again, we surf every swell we get here. Good quiver for an East Coast guy would be definitely a longboard, a full volume kind of fishy type board, and then maybe a short board for the all-time days we get, which are as good as anywhere in the world, just not as often. All right. Well, can you hear him first of all?
Yeah. What's up?
Okay. So listen, guys, thanks for sticking with this video for as long as you did, and Jacob's going to take us out the rest of the way. Before he starts, if you like what you heard here or what you saw here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And go ahead, Jacob, just wrap it up, my man.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for making it this far, and hope to see you one day at Rockaway Beach with New York Surf School. Thank you.
All right.